As more reactions trailed the judgment, many Nigerians have called for the need to move forward as a country after the electoral dispute. Now, this was the position of two guests on TVC News flagship political program, Politics Tonight. Let's share this with you. Please.
After months of legal battle, the 2023 presidential election petitions challenging the victory of President Bola Tinubu in the February 25 poll came to a close on Thursday, the 26th of October. A seven-man panel of the Supreme Court dismissed the appeals filed by the candidates of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Atiku Abubakar, and that of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, for lack of merit.
That the appellants, having not put forward their perceived rightful score.
Many analysts say it is time to move on as a country after the judgments by the Apex Court, which upheld the verdict of the presidential election petition court of 6th of September.
Be introducing new or fresh evidence.
Featured on TVC News flagship political program, Politics Tonight, the presidential candidate of the African Democratic Congress, ADC, Dumebi Kajiko, advised opposition parties to stop further hostilities about the outcome of the election.
Hope that we don't see the kind of gangsterism and rascality of political parties in pursuing their mandates, because what we've seen in the last couple of months is just sheer rascality on the part of these parties. We saw that in presenting their cases before the court. So all this sought to do was tarnish the image of the institution, the process, the president of the country, and also bring Nigeria to a near state of anarchy. They brought Nigeria to the brink, to the precipice. And this should not happen. Politicians should show statesmanship.
It was a keenly fought legal battle that extended to the United States, with Atiku attempting to file fresh evidence over alleged certificate forgery by President Tinubu during his time at Chicago State University, which the Apex Court overruled.
Anybody who says that.
Another guest on the program, who is a constitutional lawyer, Omoruyi Edogiawere, said the court was right in refusing to allow fresh evidence to be presented by Atiku.
Strictly speaking, on appeal, can you bring new facts? It is elementary law that you cannot adduce new facts on appeal. Appeal is based on points of law and areas where you believe that the Court of Appeal has erred. And so you cannot bring fresh facts. Emphasis on the word fresh facts. So I think that it was a no-brainer that the court would have addressed it that way.
They also expressed their views on the issue of 25% votes in the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, which they describe as a ploy by the petitioners to discredit the election since they could not prove they won.
They sought to focus on other technicalities, all in a bid to upturn the elections, because they knew that on the hard fact of did you win this election, it was clear that they did not win. It's common sense. I don't believe the framers of our constitution ever expected that residents in any part of Nigeria will have more rights than those in other parts of Nigeria. That could never have been their intention. Sometimes when you hear the passion with which people argue this, that Abuja could decide the elections, I just wondered how.
If the framers of the Constitution intended to ascribe special status to the FCT, they would have expressly done that. And the court also gave a hint that we all lawyers must now take, that in seeking to interpret sections of the Constitution, the courts must be very wary of adopting a narrow, rigid approach.
Kachiko berated the Labour Party for the attacks on the judiciary and called on the National Assembly to address the problem.
The judiciary is supposed to uphold society, uphold constitution that frames society. If we say it does not exist, it is corrupt, we might as well let a state of anarchy prevail in Nigeria. So the National Assembly must look at this. What do we do to people who promote anarchy by disreputating the judiciary? What should we do to those people who consciously, who intentionally do things to make Nigerians doubt the integrity of the judiciary. What should we do to those people? This should not be allowed to happen. Tell you what, it's very easy for people to have taken those pictures that they saw all over the internet of our judges, gone after them, gone after their families. That's what they intended. What happened if people had done that, killed, someone had lost their life in this process? What do we then say to ourselves? I expect that the National Assembly should be looking at this critically and come up with a solution to this.
With litigation over, the administration of President Tinubu can now focus on the governance, particularly reviving the ailing economy and uniting the people.
Jide, I remember the great American jurist, Robert Jackson, who said, we are not final because...
we are infallible.
No, we are not final because we are infallible. We are not infallible because we are final. We are final because we are infallible. So that should, when you get to the Supreme Court, you must listen. First of all, listening is an art. Not too many people listen.
Them were sleeping.
Yeah. Because at the Supreme Court, everything will come to roost. Yeah. You must develop the art of listening. Because I listened, for instance, the Peter Obi's case was hardly 5-10 minutes.
10 lines. The judgment was 10 lines.
Not because...
is it 1 minute 47 seconds? Somebody told me. They didn't have...
And so, because the man on the street who gets so emotive will say, but he didn't visit Obi's case.
No, because the grounds, were laid, by the Court of Appeal. So the Supreme Court is just to review and then pass judgment. It doesn't need to go through all the... the other one spent so many hours.
The issues that he came up with were similar to what Atiku came up with. The only difference was on him insisting that Shettima was not properly nominated. That's the only difference. And they addressed that one in 10 lines. So the other issues, very similar to Atiku's issues, those issues have been decided in the judgment on Atiku. So it will have amounted to a waste of time going over, because they will still end up saying the same thing.
Jide, we must go. But at this point, mine is loyalty.
Where are we going from here?
We're going home.
No.
Okay, you mean as a
bar? Have we not been called to bar?
Ikosi bar.
Yes. No.
Okay, I should have known.
Lawyers get called to bar. At TVC, we get called to bar too.
That's it. There's a bar here.
Yes.
Please come over. Loyalty to country always, loyalty to government when it deserves it. At this point, the loyalty, mine, and I dare say Jide's and Wale's loyalties will be to the country. Yeah.